Hey everybody, sorry I've been kind of quiet lately. For those of you who've been paying attention to the dictionary, the word list of demonetized words, I have been updating it quite a bit. Usually around once or twice a week, I'll go through and I'll just pull maybe like 1,000, maybe 2,000 words and just retest them. I especially like to retest the words that seem like they shouldn't be the result that they are. So anyway, if you haven't checked the list lately, I would definitely recommend taking another look at it because a lot of green words go to yellow and vice versa. But today I kind of wanted to touch on a subject about YouTube censorship. Now, of course, there's a lot of talk around YouTube. You know, a lot of people are saying like certain political channels will get demonetized or certain channels get deleted or like gay channels being, suppressed, stuff like that. And I mean, that was kind of like half the point of the whole Nerd City video that I was a part of. But it's a lot more complicated than it looks on face value. Because you have to take into account there is manual suppression, and then there's automated suppression. For example, the whole list of demonetized words I have, that is only testing what is being automatically scanned, by the bot. And from what I understand, YouTube does not often like to interfere with whatever the automation bot decides on. They kind of just let the bot keep teaching itself, lots of learning, trying to figure out what is okay and what is not okay. So in the case of like the word gay being demonetized, I don't necessarily think that that had to do with YouTube themselves being like, we don't want gay content on the site. Because it's pretty clear that YouTube does a lot of things to support the LGBT community, so I don't really think that the guys over at YouTube are intentionally trying to suppress that kind of content. Which really brings you into the other side of things. So for those of you who upload videos, you'll know that when you upload a video, if you're monetized, usually within the first 10 or 15 minutes after it's been processed, you'll see if it's green or yellow. And that whole process is completely automated. It will scan your video, your title, your tags, your thumbnail, all of that, and if it finds something, then it'll demonetize you. So all of that is automated. And then, if you want to request a review, that's when it becomes a little bit more like YouTube's own opinion. But even still, YouTube outsources their manual reviewers. And those manual reviewers, I'm not even sure technically work for YouTube, so that could be a whole different thing on its own. So you have the automated process, and then you have the manual review process, but the guys at YouTube still do have some power. If they really want to take a channel down, they can just go in and remove it, or they can go in, demonetize it, delete it, do whatever they want to it. So while some content, like LGBT content, can get demonetized, maybe suppressed by the automation, it's usually fixed by manual review. I mean, obviously not 100% of the time, but that's all just kind of a mistake in the automation. The whole controversy about YouTube being like anti-LGBT, I think is much more due to incompetence rather than malice. However, I also mentioned there was like the whole political and commentary and news side of it. I think we've all noticed that YouTube is really trying to push for like, mainstream news. They want the mainstream talk shows, they want CNN, Fox News, all those big name corporations. And they don't want these like independent journalists or just like political commentators who just turn on a camera like this. So I believe that those smaller channels that try and do their own commentary, I think that those are actually being manually suppressed by YouTube themselves. And then there's one other way that I think YouTube really can suppress content if they really want. And that's like, so pretty much every channel related to like guns and firearms, like even if it's like a gun safety type channel, like pretty much all of that content has been demonetized and suppressed. Like there's a lot of people who've just had to give up on YouTube because YouTube basically said we don't want any gun content at all. So I think that that's a little bit of a mix between manual and automated, because they probably put up these censors saying, all right, anything related to guns and firearms, we don't want that on the platform, so just keep that away. But yeah, I kind of wanted to clear the air about a few things because some people will look at my list of words and they'll see something like, oh, the word gay is demonetized. That means that YouTube obviously doesn't like gay people or something like that. But there's something extra I really wanted to point out with this list too. By the way, like I said, I just retested a bunch of words and the word gay is now showing up as green. But let's take a look at a few things you might notice with this list. So the term gays with an S at the end is yellow. Now some people might say like, oh, that means that people who are gay are making content about gay stuff, then they're being suppressed. But when you really think about it, it's kind of the opposite. Who uses the term gays with an S at the end? Now, people from the LGBT community probably don't use the term gays because it's a little bit derogatory, I guess you could say. But let's say you're a channel that's like, I hate gays or something. Like, a channel like that is the one that's getting demonetized. Or same with like the term social justice warrior, SJW or something like that. Like, most social justice warriors or SJWs are not putting those terms in their titles. The people that are putting those terms in the titles are the ones criticizing them. So technically, if you are part of a label that the term is being demonetized, that could even be a favor to you, because it's technically demonetizing people who are talking about you, which, I mean, on YouTube, people like to criticize or call out other people. It's just the nature of the site. But anyways, I'm just letting you guys know that I'm still putting lots of time into this list, and I want to give a big shout out and thank all of the people who've signed up to the Patreon. You guys are awesome, and you allow me to keep putting a lot of time into this, so thanks to everybody for watching.